Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This video is all about getting your potatoes ready to go out into your garden. I'm going to show you the process they have to go through. It's called chitting. It's pretty straightforward. And I'm also going to talk to you about different potatoes that you can purchase now, where you can get them, and how they grow a little bit differently. That's what's really confusing. When you go online, you're going to see there might be determinate variety potatoes, indeterminate variety potatoes. Sometimes the information is not accurate. The same variety of potato will fall into different categories. It can be confusing. You'll also see different ways to grow them, hilling, mounding, and all that kind of stuff. I grow my potatoes in containers. That's how I've been doing it for years. This year I'm going to be growing them in 20-gallon root pouches and a larger root pouch, a 100-gallon root pouch, and actually a 150-gallon root pouch. If you want to subscribe, I'll show you how I grow in those. They're available at my seed shop. I'll put that information down at the bottom of the description. I like growing in containers. It's a little bit easier, and my process is basically fill the bottom of the container up, maybe 12 inches of soil, put the potato in about 4 inches deep, and as it grows upward, I put in more soil, leaves, different materials, so that I'm covering up the growth and always leaving about 4 inches of growth and letting it grow up. That's typically the process that you do for indeterminate potatoes. And again, I'll do a planting video. So that as that vine grows upward, you're putting in more soil and more potatoes come out of the vine that grows up. Determinate variety potatoes tend not to do that. They just grow in the root area from wherever you plant this to right around where the roots come out. So rather than plant two different ways, I'm just going to plant these as if they're the indeterminate variety. It doesn't hurt the potatoes to mound up if it's a determinate variety. Hope that makes sense. I've decided to make the process simple. I'm going to treat them all as indeterminate potatoes, and I do recommend, I do sell a journal at my seed shop, just make notes. So whatever potatoes you can get, you can make notes on how they grow, and then you can classify them as indeterminate or determinate, and you're going to know what your harvest is like. Now, the reason I say that is, of course, we could get online, we could find a specific indeterminate variety, specific determinate variety. Sometimes they're sold out, sometimes they're more expensive, shipping can be a lot. We all can't afford that. So I have potatoes that I bought at big box stores, and I have potatoes that I got from grocery stores. And the grocery store potatoes, we don't necessarily know the varieties. So we're going to plant them one way, as if they're indeterminate varieties, and then we're going to take notes. It doesn't matter where you get your potatoes from, the chitting process is going to work on the potato. You can save money. So this is where it kind of gets confusing. So you have your early season potatoes, and I would just say it's more of the maturing time. They mature in 75 to 90 days. Mid-season or mid-maturing, 95 to 110 days. Later season, late maturing, 120 to 135 days. That's what you're really focusing on. So for instance, just because they may be called early season potatoes, if I planted all of these at the same time, say April 1st, these would be harvested early in the season, the middle of the season, the later in the season. But you don't have to get caught in that, because I can put these early season or quick maturing potatoes into my garden in April, put them back out again in maybe June, and then even in August, and I still have enough time to harvest them. So what you're really focusing on is how long does it take for this potato to go from the chitting process to maturity. And as long as you have 90 days of the right growing temperatures, you could put these in March, in April, in May, in June, in July, August, and still get potatoes. Hope that makes sense. So probably I can do early potatoes 2 to 3 times in my growing zone, mid-season 2 times, and late season just 1 time. So you're really looking for a mix of maturity times. And that's what I did here. I'll show you the examples in a second. And just to clarify, usually your determinate type potatoes are maturing 75 to 95 days. Your indeterminate potatoes are maturing 95 to 135 days. However, to keep it simple, I'm just going to plant them the same way. I'll put about 12 inches in my containers, put the potato down about 4 inches, And as new green growth comes up, I'll put more material on top of that. And again, subscribe and I will gladly show you how I plant my potatoes this year in those root pouches. So here's the different ways you can buy them. $3.98. These were from Home Depot. You can get them at your big box stores. This is a late season potato called All Blue. And you can see that the chitting process has started. And they're perfectly fine just to keep in these boxes. You just don't want them in any kind of sealed or airtight container. So I bought these now. I'll let these do their thing, and in 6 weeks I'll go get them. I'll go put them out into some of my containers. Now I've grown these before. These are definitely indeterminate variety potatoes. They take a full 100+ days to get ready. You can get baby potatoes if you harvest them sooner, but they just continue and continue to grow these vines, and I kept burying them. So for these, I know that these are indeterminate late season potatoes. I really like them. You can also find potatoes this way. These are 6 tubers, $3. Maybe I got these at Walmart, but you can start, looking around for the different potatoes. The variety is there. Red Norland, definitely an early season potato. Process has already started. You can just leave them in these bags and you can see the potatoes are just doing fine in there. You want to plant a potato piece about this size with 2 or 3 eyes started on there. If you have a bigger potato like this and you have 2 or 3 coming out on this side and 2 and 3 coming out on that side, we can cut it right down the middle. Let this dry 2 or 3 days indoors so it starts drying and scabbing over. We can plant that in there. So we had the late season All Blue, the early season Red Norland. This is a Gold Rush. This is a mid-season. And that's right over here. This is a bigger potato in there. I'm sorry, that is the Yukon Gold. That's right here. And you can see that the chitting process is starting, and I'll probably cut this right down the middle and have more tubers, more pieces of the tuber to go into the ground. This is another early season potato, Yukon Gold. Process is going on. This is where you can save money, but you're not necessarily going to be sure what the variety is. This is a russet potato, and I think it's the Burbank variety. I looked it up to see, what the different russets were, and this is what it looks like. It's a Burbank. The process of the chitting is starting right in there. This is a mid to late season. Russet potatoes tend to be the later season potatoes, taking about 120 days or more to get ready. Some of them, are also classified as mid-season. You can just put your potatoes in a brown paper bag, let them sit in there. If you notice the paper bag getting darker, any of the potatoes rotting, just remove that potato immediately and just get rid of it. But this is a great way to start the process of chitting, so that you have a little bit of a jump on the season. So in this bag I have red potatoes. They're probably red Pontiac, grocery store, and then I have Yukon Gold from an organic grocery. Doesn't matter, organic, not organic. These potatoes won't hurt you if they're not stamped organic, but the chitting process is starting. I just mixed them all in there, and you can see what's going on, and you can tell I'm going to be growing a lot of potatoes this year. The bonus is where you're spending $3 here, $4 over there, you can get 3-5 pounds of potatoes for like $3 at the grocery store, so your money can go a lot further, but you may not know what the variety is. If you're ordering online, sometimes you're paying more money, sometimes you're paying comparable money, but sometimes I found that the potatoes are just sold out, so sometimes they're hard to get online. If you want to order, you would order now, and they will get them out to you when it's appropriate for whatever zone you're in. Baby gold potatoes or yellow potatoes, and today again is February 5th. I put these into the brown bag on January 30th, and it doesn't take long for them to start sprouting out. Looks just like the other bags that I showed you. So these are the gold potatoes or yellow potatoes, and they're early to mid-season. And then white potatoes, don't know the variety again, early to mid-season, and you can see that all the potatoes bought in different ways are all starting the chitting process. They're all going to be ready in 6 weeks. So that's the whole key, is that we want to make sure that you give the potatoes about 6 weeks to get ready to go through the chitting process. Look like this. They're ready to go out into your garden. And again, the timing wise is when you plant them into the ground should not be frozen, of course, and you want to put them in so again, when the greenery comes up, they're moving into, an ambient temperature, the temperature, of the air that is past the frost date. And this way you'll have a nice healthy crop. Now, strategy wise, I'm going to start my early, mid-season, and late season all at the same time. They will be ready at different points of the season, but I'm also going to be putting in other waves of early potatoes, mid-season potatoes, and I'm going to have potatoes for the entire year. So I'll be harvesting, probably say June, July, and August, but I'll also be planting again, so I'm harvesting again in October, November here in my zone. Best way to keep track of things is pick out the potatoes from the grocery stores, use a journal, notebook, make notes, and then come next year, you know exactly what you want to buy. You can pay as little as possible, and you can have a great season growing potatoes. Hope you enjoyed the video. It takes a little bit of the mystery away. Please subscribe. I'll be doing a planting video, and again, I'll be planting them all the same way. About 12 inches into the container, potato goes down about 4 inches. After I get 4 to 6 inches of growth above the soil, I put more material around it, maybe leaves, maybe straw, maybe earth. And I keep doing that until it comes time for harvest. Thanks for watching, and please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com.